if you're not investing your time and energy developing these skills in your 20s, then you're falling behind on your greatest potential. Now, I'm not saying you're falling behind everyone else around you. You are falling behind on your greatest potential. Why is that important for you while you're watching this video right now? Because if you're watching this, it likely means you've not yet hit that age of 30, but you know for certain that you've got big dreams, big goals, and you want to do some amazing things in this world. I hear you. I've got that same mindset. Now, I'm past that mark of 30, 31, but I've done some things in my life to try and figure out what will help me to be as successful as possible in my definition of success, which means to make the biggest and greatest, most positive impact in this world for whoever I have the blessing and honor and privilege to reach. And you right now are watching this, and I want to help you to have the skills you need before you get to 30 to set yourself up for extraordinary success in your life. What I can tell you for certain, having lived through my 20s, is that when you're in your 20s, it's the best time to position yourself for amazing success for the rest of your life. You've got to ask yourself this question. Do I want to leverage my 20s to maximize the rest of my life, or do I just kind of want to let them waste away? I'm just going to kind of not focus on what I need to focus on. I'm not going to develop the skills that are vital for my success for the rest of my life. Or do you want to double down on creating as much success as you can in your 20s so you can accelerate your success by the time you reach 30? And I'm going to dive into these 4 tips plus a bonus tip that you need to develop. A bonus skill that you really need to be developing in your 20s. And as you're listening to me share these 5 specific skills that you need to be developing, I'd really encourage you to think long and hard about if you're actually investing your time and energy now to develop these skills. So let's dive in. The very first skill you absolutely have to develop in your 20s before you get to 30 Belief. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, JJ, wow, belief's not a skill, man. I'm trying to figure out how to accelerate my success. What I know for certain is that if you right now are not creating the kind of success that you want and you feel like you're behind on your potential, it's likely you have not developed the skill of belief enough. What I know about belief is this. It's like a muscle. If you go to the gym or you know anybody who's really strong physically, it's because they go to the gym on a regular basis and they push their muscles to get stronger and they develop them every single day. Now, if you don't have enough belief in what's possible for you, if you're not strengthening your belief of what's possible, then you're not going to have all of the energy that you need to do what's required to create the kind of life that you want to live now and going forward. And what I know for certain about belief is it's something that if you don't focus on it every day, it gets weaker. It's not something that you can put on the shelf for a few weeks and then think you're going to come back with the same kind of belief that you had when you worked on it every day for a full year. It's kind of like going to the gym again. If you work out really hard every day for a year and then you take a year off, what happens? You don't go back to the same level of strength and conditioning that you had when you were working out hard for every single day of the year. You lose it. Same thing happens with belief. You have to work it every single day. The best way I can encourage you to work on your skill of belief is to put pen to paper in a journal every day, writing out what you're believing for. What are you believing for? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to accomplish in your life? What's the reason that you want to be great now in your 20s so that you can be great in your 30s and your 40s and 50s and beyond in your life? What's the kind of impact you want to make? Strengthen your belief. Tell yourself every single day, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, they are possible. Your vision is possible. You have to believe that it's possible before any of these other skills are going to matter. Now, you might be watching this thinking, yeah, but how do I become successful? And the other thing I know about belief is it's the foundation for the how-to skills that are required. Now, there are all kinds of skills that you could be developing right now and going forward in your life, but if you've not laid the foundation with belief, If you don't have the foundation of a strong belief, all the other technical skills, the how do I do this, how do I do that, aren't going to be as effective nor nearly as powerful as they could be. So I want to encourage you right now to remind yourself every single day that your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, the vision of the life you want to live, it's possible. You have to tell yourself every day. So you can journal about it. You can sit there and tell yourself about it. You can go for a run or a walk or do some type of exercise and remind yourself. Just say it over and over and over again. My dreams are possible. With extraordinary energy, you have to stay fired up about your belief in your future in order to condition it as a muscle. Now, let's shift to the second skill you have to develop to be successful as you want in your 20s so you can accelerate your success beyond 30. Confidence. Now, before you leave me, keep watching, because as you look at belief as the first skill you have to develop, the second one's like, confidence? That's a skill? I thought that was something you're either born with or you're not. I don't really have a lot of confidence, and I don't know if I can develop it. If you've ever said to yourself, I don't know if I can develop confidence, stop saying that. Because what I can promise you is that confidence is a skill like any other. You can develop it. Now, your question becomes, how do I develop confidence? JJ, thanks for the brilliant idea that I need more confidence. Now, how do I do it? And what I know for certain about confidence is it's similar to belief in that you can't just hope that confidence comes about. You have to think about it every single day. You have to build confidence into your identity. Now, there are all kinds of ways to build confidence, and one great book I highly recommend is called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. Even if you're not a golfer, this book has so many insights, ideas, tips, and tactics that will blow your mind about how powerful confidence can be in your life for creating bigger and better results. So I highly encourage you to check that book out, because it will really help you to have some ideas and strategies that you need to build greater confidence. But the way you build confidence is, number one, to think about it every single day. You've got to think about confidence. You've got to remind yourself that you want to be confident. Now, you might be also asking yourself, what actually makes confidence important? Yeah, I've heard in self-help books and different people like you telling me that confidence is important. But why really is it important? What I know for certain from talking to lots and lots of people in life and business, in my professional life and in my personal life, is that whether you're 22 or 52, confidence is the thing that will either hold you back or help you to be unleashed into your greatest potential. I've heard it from people in their 50s who will say, you know what, I'm just not feeling that confident. It's a confidence thing. The reason I'm not taking action, the reason I'm not creating the success, the reason I'm not making the calls, the reason I'm not having those tough conversations, I'm just not confident. So number one, decide that confidence is a skill that you know is important to develop. And it's important because it's the thing that'll help you feel certain to take action. If you're not confident that what you're doing is going to produce some kind of result, what's the point? The payoff has to be worth the pain, as they say. And I'm not suggesting you go through a ton of pain, but sometimes it can feel painful to do scary things which are required to develop confidence. You develop confidence by doing the tough things and committing to things and doing those things and reminding yourself every day that you do what you say you're going to do and that you're willing to put yourself out there to create the results that you want. Now, this video is not fully about confidence, but I do want to remind you that confidence is a vital skill to develop. So I've got videos on confidence. You can check out my channel for more of those. But what I know for certain is that you have to make confidence one of those skills that you start to build in your 20s. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to master it for your life just because you spend a year or two working on your confidence. Confidence is one of those muscles that you have to work on for the rest of your life. I simply want to plant the seed here for you that if you've never had anybody tell you that confidence is vital for your success in your life, I want you to know that it is. And I want you to start working on it. I want you to start watching videos, listening to podcasts, listening to books, reading books. By the way, I've got a book that I wrote called Attract Your Potential. You can find the link in the description of this video if you want to go check it out. But what I know for certain is confidence is one of those important skills you have to develop. And I've written about it in my book. So whether you get Golf is Not a Game of Perfect or you buy my book, I would love for you to start working on your confidence to take yourself to new levels in your 20s so you're ready to catapult into your 30s and beyond. The third skill you need to develop. Yes, that's a long word. Communication. You absolutely have to be working on your communication skills. If there's one reason that relationships break down, personal and professional, if there's one reason you don't make the sale, if there's one reason you don't get that person to go out with you, if there's one reason you don't improve that broken, challenged relationship in your life, it's because of this. It's because of communication. Communication, lack of communication, or lack of communication skills is the number one reason people get divorced or partnerships in business break down and break up. You have to master this skill. Don't think that communication is a nice to have skill. Know right now that communication, developing that skill, is a must-have skill. If you can start developing this skill of communication in your 20s, you are going to be light years ahead of people you're competing against and people that you want to show that you can achieve amazing potential, that you have what it takes to do extraordinary things. And I don't mean that from an egotistical standpoint. I mean, when you can communicate effectively and you can start drawing people into your life because you communicate effectively, you're going to change everything for yourself. You're going to attract people to your team. And by the way, that's one thing I talk about. If you want to download the first chapter of my book for free, you can get it in the description below. It's called Team Made. And that, my friend, is the core of the book that I wrote called Attract Your Potential. Because if you get the right people around you and you help them achieve their goals and they help you achieve your goals, you're going to create even bigger and better results and make a more positive, impactful difference in this world. And skill number 4 that you need to develop. By the way, there are all kinds of books and videos and podcasts on communication. There are seminars. Literally, there are all kinds of things you can do to develop communication. One great place to start is with my book, Attract Your Potential. The 4th skill you have to develop. Leadership. Why do I underline every single word when I go? I don't know. Hopefully that makes you know that it's important, that it's really important. Leadership is the 4th skill you have to develop in your 20s. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, is leadership really a skill that I can do in my 20s? Like, don't I have to be 40 or 50 to be a leader? What I know about leadership is it's a choice. It's a choice to be a leader. Am I pointing at it? It's a choice to be a leader. There are people in their 50s and 60s that have still never made the choice to be a leader. They have not even chosen to be a leader in their own life, let alone a leader for other people. But what you can do in your 20s is you can decide to be a leader in your own life. And when you first decide to be a leader for yourself, then you can take the next steps of figuring out how to be a leader for other people. But leadership is a vital skill that you need to start developing now before you turn 30, because if you get into your 30s and you haven't worked on this skill, you're going to think to yourself, gosh, why didn't I listen to that crazy guy with a lot of energy, JJ Peller, on his YouTube video when I watched it years before? Because he was right. Leadership is one of the most important skills that you must start developing in your 20s to take your life and the level of success that you want to new levels as you move forward. So it's a decision. Leadership is a decision. Decide that you're going to be a leader. It doesn't matter if you've been assigned to lead people in your organization. It's a matter of saying, I'm going to choose to step up. I'm going to choose to be someone that challenges and encourages and inspires the people around me, personally and professionally, to step up to new levels of life, to step up to new levels of vibrancy, to have new standards for what's acceptable. When you don't accept less than your best, you are modeling one of the most important qualities of a leader, of a strong leader, for the people around you. And if you're willing to model successful leadership in your 20s, your mind will be blown by the opportunities that come into your life, by the people that come into your life, because they're so attracted to the fact that you're not willing to wait to be a leader, that you've chosen to be a leader now. Develop the skill of leadership in your 20s and you will be mind blown at what becomes possible for you as you move forward in your life. And before we get to this bonus, I really want to encourage you to please check out chapter 1 of my book, Attract Your Potential. I put the link down below in the description. You can go download it for free, read it. I believe it will inspire and empower you to believe in this idea of team made and what that means for you and how it will help you create greater success in your life. And I'm convinced that if you read that chapter, you will go buy my book, because I know it can help you, can bless you, can serve you. But as we move on to the bonus tip here, or the bonus skill that you need to develop, and by the way, it's not a bonus skill in your life, like you have to develop it. It's not a nice to have. It's not a bonus like, hey, it'd be cool to have this. I just called it a bonus for the video. But it's a skill that you truly need to be working on to create greater levels of success in your life in your 20s. And by the way, this is a skill that not many people work on, whether they're 25, 35, 47, 52, 92. Not many people work on this one. And I can promise you that if you work on this skill right now, you will take your life to new levels and people will see you differently. And they'll say, there's something special about her. There's something special about him. There's something special in this person because they've worked on this specific skill. And it's this. Can you see it? We got levels here on the camera. At this point, I have no clue if you can read my handwriting or not, but what this says is emotional regulation. Emotional regulation. Now, you've probably heard the term emotional intelligence, and that's important, but I phrase it slightly differently here because I want you to know that intelligence sometimes gets people confused. Like, what is emotional intelligence? Do I just have it or not? But I believe that when I phrase it as emotional regulation, at least for me in my own personal experience, it helps me remember that it's less about intelligence, like I have it or I don't, and it's more about this ability to manage my emotional state, my energy. What emotion am I living in? And by the way, this is another thing I talk about in my book, Attract Your Potential, because I believe in the power of emotional regulation and truly understanding your own emotions so that you can influence your own emotions. Because when you can influence your own emotions, when you better manage and regulate your own emotions, you're in a much better position to regulate, or I should say influence, the emotions of the people around you. And that is the secret to greater success. Why? Because when you can move people emotionally, you can accomplish anything. If you can help people to feel inspired and uplifted and empowered and joyful and loving and compassionate, then you, my friend, hold the key that many people don't decide to grab onto. When you choose to develop the skill of emotional regulation, you are taking command of the invisible force in your life that makes all the difference. In your in your personal relation, I'm getting like all inspired and then choked up. In your personal relationships, in your professional relationships, in your community, in your family, every place that you want to make a difference, if you can master this skill of emotional regulation, you absolutely can and will change your life dramatically in your 20s before you get to 30 so that you can accelerate forward in your 30s and your 40s. And again, go check out that free download below. And by the way, before we wrap up, remember, these are 5 skills that you have to develop. And if you believe that I'm telling you the truth, which I am, and if you believe that what I'm saying is true, then you need to go and watch this video right now to continue to stay inspired and to get equipped with what you need to move forward faster. So go watch this video that I made right now. I know that it will continue to serve you and bless you on your journey to creating whatever results you want in life.